Okay, let's see here. Let me look at something for a moment. Um, One of my subscribers on my other channel joined channels now. He's a couple of channels, and hopefully he'll be over here in a minute. I'm dedicating this to him. I guess I don't want to say his name, but I'll read his comments roughly. And so, all right. He says, talking to me, this is a really good video. It will make me think more when I'm on the road and on life in general. When I'm driving, say I'm in the left lane, I see the car in the right lane turn on their signal. I let them in. However, if they don't stay with the flow now that they're in front of me, I begin to curse them and myself for letting them in. It's very interesting. If I'm in the left lane and having a safe following distance to the car in front of me, and in my rear view, the guy that is tailgating me decides he's going to go around me to get in front of me, I do not know that I speed up and close the gap. Oh, I do know that I speed up and close the gap to not allow that person in front of me. My mind is very petty. It's not. We all are this way. Now, like you said about the Q-tips not being okay, so more and more on that one. So I'm gonna cut into this because this is on my other channel. So let's see if I can just talk regular to you or kind of normal here. So amygdala there's two of them, each side of her head, left and right. And see how I'm pointing? What do you notice? Something's not right. I'm using two different fingers. Look. I'm not cursing you out, just so you know, but maybe you think I am. Things like that bother us because we want to see we want to see what we want to see. And the moment we don't see what we want to see, that means the moment you decided you wanted to see what you wanted to see, and it wasn't what you thought you were looking at, it's an attack on you. Simple as that. And you're like, what? How's that an attack? Well, conclusive files. The amygdala protects us no matter what. I say it's first in line of everything. That it is not second. It is not some caveman thing. That it's not just fight or flight. That it is only fight. And if we choose the flight, that's the way we're fighting at that point. That it has no flight to it. I don't believe in a reflex action either. I believe it's an amygdala reaction. And I'll cross into that another time with that part. But the amygdala is part of the brain that protects, or caveman brain, protects the human against attack, we are told. I'm saying that not only protects us against attack, it protects us against all our conclusive files. So anything that we have a conclusive file on, and that's a conclusive file. See with the 1S? Conclusive file. That it doesn't care what it is. So if you have a file that, okay, so everything you have a file on, it will protect. If you're driving, for example, and this is what my man was talking about just then, is that on my other channel, and I'm starting this channel to share, so please subscribe. If you're driving and someone puts on their turn signal, first off, you're taught to create I should go grab it. Let's grab it. Hold on. I've got some toys for this. So if you're taught to, yes, it's a hard chair, so don't get comfortable in it. So if you're taught to drive this close, you know that you're going to crash into the vehicle in front. So you're taught to keep a safe distance. It's where we're all taught that we have to have a safe distance, or we're tailgating. So the safe distance you're taught to maintain, who's it belong to? Well, when you created it, it's yours. You literally own it. It's yours in your mind. You literally own it. You own that space, that distance. When someone then comes alongside of you, they're okay, unless they come along real fast, because you know what's going to happen next if you see another car in front. They're going to come across and go this way. So before they even do that, maybe you'll just close the distance so they can't do it. So you're telling them, no, you're not getting in there. And why? Do you know that person? No. they obviously want to keep on going, but they're going to do what? Why are you stopping them? Let's say they even put a turn signal on to come in there. Why are you stopping them from coming in? Because they're trying to take something that you own. You own that space. They can't take it. It's not shared space. You own it. So they just can't come in there and just take your space, and make you say, then I have to put on brakes and I'll get further away from my distance. You come up with all this other junk you want. But that's not it. It's because you own this space. And the moment they're going to try to take it through turn signal or just wanting to go across, they're taking something that belongs to you. And what happens then? An amygdala reaction happens. You automatically close your distance, which is unsafe because you were taught you're supposed to maintain a different distance. But rather than let that car come take your space, you're no longer in control. Your amygdala took over. It closes the space, and it will fight with the other guy to make sure he doesn't try to squeeze in there, because that other guy, he or she put on a turn signal. They decided they're going right there. What does that create in them? That they own that space. They don't think that you own it. They just think, oh, there's a space. I can go ahead and get in that and then slip over another lane and keep on going. Or I'll just take that to get around this vehicle. Then I'll get back around if I want to. But that space, I'm taking it now. So when they put their turn signal on, or not, let's say they put their turn signal on, and then you do this. Well, what did you do? You actually are taking something from them because they own that space now. Not thinking that you own it. You own it. They own it now because they had the turn signal on, and when you do that, they try to speed up to try to force themselves in that space that there is no space, but they're going to show you they're going to get in there. Not showing you they're going to get in there. They have no choice because you're taking from them, they're thinking at this point. So this is a short video on aggressive driving and why it happens. Because somebody's taking something you own. That's all it amounts to. Now, can you go, oh no, they're not taking anything I own? No, because your amygdala doesn't care to have that conversation with you at that point. It's always going to protect whatever you own. So somebody's trying to take it, it's going to be aggressive. It's going to want to protect you. Now, it might decide that safety reasons, you got to slam on brakes and back out and then pull over and call the guy names and everything. It's still a fighting at that point. When you pull up next to him and give him a finger and curse him out, your amygdala is taking over. You're being aggressive because you've been attacked and you're attacking back. I'm saying you only have a choice to attack back. That's all we do. At some age, we're not learning anymore. We have a conclusive file. All conclusive files are protected by the amygdala. The amygdala will always fight in some form or another. And you can take it in personal relationships, in a divorce. I win, I'll divorce you. Things like that. Or I never, whatever. It's with everything. Now, I'll go more into that with relationship stuff. But that is the key to it. Something you own. You have to. Now, can you see that you're in that battle? You cannot. You cannot. So you have to focus every day as you're driving. Like, I call it race car mode, that I say, okay, if a car comes next to me and puts on a turn signal, I try to trigger a new memory that says race car mode. When I see a turn signal, I immediately try to think race car mode. The car's in race car mode, meaning they're going to vroom, 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 and spin around and keep on going. And if they're in race car mode, they're not a threat to me. They just need to move out of my way and keep going. If they don't move out of my way, I can say they were in race car mode, they came to a stop. Then I have to realize that this person has a fight with maybe the car in front, that he decided that car's in his way, that car doesn't belong there. And so now he or she's in a fight with somebody else, not with me, because they've already taken something they own. That's my space. So I just need to realize they're in race car mode. They're also in battle mode, if you will. They're in battle mode. They're amygdala mode at that point if they're now tailgating the car in front, when clearly they were tailgating the car next to it, perhaps, before they decided to try to go around. Or maybe they're waiting for another lane to shift so they can come over, another car to pass in the left lane so they can then go in race car mode. Just to give you something to think about. This is with everything in our life that we deal with this. So I hope to enlighten you with this. But I can make this work in everything we're dealing with. I can find all your triggers. I can find all your triggers based on your conclusive files. If you're triggered, you have a conclusive file that's been triggered, whatever it may be. I can trigger them by saying things like, and I'll end it with this one. that I drove up to your house on my motorcycle. Oh, check that out. I didn't know it did that. Look, it's spring loaded. I got this off the internet from some guy who was had it for sale for like a penny, and so I felt sorry for the guy, so I bid a penny for it. Cost $1 in shipping. So not only did he send me like the one, right? I was feeling sorry just to bid on his product for him, the one, but he sent me like the whole fleet of them. It's even more than this. That was cute. I gave him, so that one does it too. So yeah, come on. It was. I'm just sure the shipping was $1.01. Make somebody happy. They went that far to put it on, I don't know, eBay. I think it was. So anyway, that's what. So moving on. So now, if I told you I drove up to your house right now on my motorcycle. Wait a minute. I drove up to your car in my car at the same time. No tricks, no remote controls. I'm actually sitting behind the wheel, and each one of them that I'm sitting behind the wheel of the motorcycle right now and the car right now in front of your house as you're watching me in this video. That I'm in, and I'm still here where I am. I don't care when you're watching, 9 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night. If you got somebody watching across town, I'm at all three locations right now. I am not a twin or any amount of twins. I am, and I'm riding a motorcycle, a car, and I'm behind each wheel. Got a helmet on. In the car, I don't have a helmet on. I got on different clothing. All right, so you see what happens. I'm going to let you think about that for a minute. How is that possible? How is that possible? Think about it. Okay. Hopefully your brain will have raced through all the files it could in its history of learning and determine that it's not possible. It is not possible. But I'm telling you it is. That it is possible. Now you say, well, I seem like a smart guy, so you're going to run it again. You're going to run that whole data again. You didn't get it yet, did you? It's still possible. Come on, you can figure it out. You can pause the video if you want to figure it out. Okay, so you pause the video. Now, I'm going to give you the answer now, so if you don't want the answer and try to figure it out, pause it now. Okay, here it comes. The answer is, it's not possible. I lied to you about saying it's possible. When I said it was possible, you kept running back in your brain trying to figure out how's that possible? What am I missing? And you were going through all your data that you had of your life. But you kept coming back to a quick conclusive file with the data I gave you and the data you had in your life and said, it's not possible, but he says it's possible. Let me see if I can figure it out. That quickly your brain ran the data again. It's not possible. And and it's me 100%. There's no tricks about it. No, it's not possible. So what happened was I gave you a conflict in your brain where you came up with this. Each time you were trying to come up with the answer I gave you, it wasn't an answer you could come up with. So it was not possible. So what I did was I gave you something you couldn't make a conclusive file on, or if you paused the video and you thought about it long enough, you should have made the conclusive file that it's not possible. At that rate, you're pissed off and you're angry because I'm saying it's possible. That's two files, two different conclusive files. One says it's possible, one that you determine is not possible. At that point, you're triggered because they don't exist. The two different files can't exist. So you press play and you find out, I was playing you. So that's the same thing in your brain. Two different things can never exist that you know are not true. For example, 2 plus 2 equals 4. And then if I told you 2 plus 2 equals 5, now I'm not pulling a trick. If I just told you that, you were like, no, 2 plus 2 is 4. No tricks, all right? So 2 plus 2 is 4. It can't equal 5. So if I tell you, do some math, and I go, all 4 of us showed up. I mean, me and Michelle and Bob and Tom showed up at your house. And the 5 of us, we ate. And the total of 5 of us, we ate. Well, that could work, couldn't it? So me and Michelle, Tom and Beth, we went out to dinner. The 5 of us ate. Well, there's only 4. There's no 5th person, so that it can't exist. My statement has an error in it. If it can't exist, then you want to resolve it. As a human, you want to resolve it going, I need to know, there's 4 of you, right? And I'm like, no, there's 5. You're like, well, you said you and Michelle, Tom and Beth or whatever. That's 4. I'm like, yeah, that's all of us. That's 5. Well, now you're like, what do you mean it's 5? It's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you see how you're getting into an argument with me? And we would say it's semantics. But it's not semantics. It's what a conclusive file you have, that equals 4, not 5. This is all the stuff in life that will bother you. If you put down, as I told the guy, I said the Q-tip one. If somebody puts down a Q-tips on a countertop and it bothers you where they are, that's because you have a conclusive file that a used Q-tip or unused Q-tip obviously doesn't, because it goes in your ear, should not be on a, it should go right from the box to your ear, or never, on a counter, for example. That's just dirty, and you're going to put the dirt in your ear. So that's like, logical thinking to me, maybe not to you. But if I see it on there and then you pick it up and put it in your ear, I go, that logic doesn't make sense to me. Like, why did you just put that in your ear? Well, I didn't use it yet. But you had it on the counter. And they're like, so? You're like, and then, so what are you doing now? You're arguing with them, giving them source data. Instead of just saying, you're stupid, whatever, and walk away, you go, the counter's dirty. And they argue back, the counter's not dirty. They have a conclusive file that counter's not dirty because obviously they don't have data that says it's dirty. You know it's dirty, and it did pick up some content of dirt and went inside the ear canal. You don't know what you're putting in your ear at that point. So this, for example, I won't stick this in my ear. I mean, not even for this. What's stopping me from doing this to prove it in a video? My amygdala says no matter what, even I cannot hurt myself. That I can't hurt myself. And not the physical part of this would hurt me, but it's dirty, because clearly if I clean this off, I could then stick it in my ear and I'd feel pretty safe to it. And I'm thinking about how I would bleach this first, clean it off, allow the bleach to stand there for 10 minutes, and then stick it in my ear to show you in a YouTube video that I could do it. But right now, I can't do it. Right now, I can't even hit myself in the head with this, apparently, because my amygdala and I'm looking straight ahead with you guys, you know that. My amygdala has calculated the distance from my fingertips and knows what distance to keep this from me. As I increase the speed, look what the amygdala did. It put it further out here automatically. Now, as I can look in the mirror, the image here, it allows me to come closer. But as I increase the speed, the amygdala says, I can't do that close. I have to default slow you down. If you want to test this theory, attempt this and try to increase the speed. And you'll see that your amygdala won't let you do it. It'll let you increase the speed out here, but not in here. You can override it by being stupid. That's just Jackass Stupid, the series. So now, and that was more educational how I'm sharing that, so nobody tries to say I'm copywriting. YouTube is really tough on this copyright stuff now. So that everything, even that little statement. So that's the end of this video. I hope it enlightens you a little bit, and I'll talk more about it in relationships and the amygdala and how you can fix so much just by understanding that you've been triggered. Again, it's source data we're sharing. That's the trigger part. So everything that upsets you, that's because you came to a different conclusion with the same information in the person reacting, or perhaps you didn't. This is also why you don't get along with somebody that's opposite to you. Sexually, you bond. All right, we bond with a lot of people sexually, but then when we get to know them, we find out too many that we come to different conclusive files, and that's where things draw the line, where the arguments start, where the relationship doesn't work, period. I don't care if you've been in a relationship for 10 years. If you both see the same data and you come to different conclusions, your amygdala will protect you, because this person's trying to force a different decision on you than what you're used to, and vice versa. You're trying to force a different decision on them than the conclusion they make. So you can probably talk about the source data to try to change that, to see if you both can come to the same conclusion. Maybe you'll change your side, maybe they'll change his side. Can you ultimately respect both sides? No, not really, because I can't respect that you came to 5 when the answer is 4. It's an attack on me that we just can't come to the same answer. Now, you could come to they're in race car mode. You could try to come up with a theory that says, all right, they don't agree with me because they're in race car mode. In a relationship, I really haven't found where that can work. Coming up with, well, I guess you could probably come up, well, they're good in bed. They offer me free food. They offer me free housing. you could come up with something like that for race car mode to get you to stay in a relationship. That's male or female. Ultimately, the woman a lot of times are living off of the guys, um, and now the millennials are living off their parents. So they're in race car mode, saying, "I don't care what the parent has to say. I'm living off them for free." And a marriage situation, ultimately, the woman asks, "No offense to you women, this is relationship stuff. I'm going to call it like I see it." So, and I'll have exceptions to it. So you can't hold me to anything. I'm willing to move. Relationships, women want to get married because they're taught to get married. Therefore, they have this agenda. An agenda is a powerful thing to try to change. I need to end the video. We can talk about that in another one. Take care. Wish you guys all success.